at that point, I wasn't aware. To that extent, I knew that I said to the journalist of the Sunday World that there is no smoke without fire. What excites me and what I said to my wife was that we have had this hanging over our heads for some time. Perhaps it is time that we use the open courts to defend an innovation that we engineered back in 2010, supported by the late Comrade Edna Molewa, who was the Minister of Environmental Affairs, and which we went on to create employment for many others. It was through this innovation that during COVID times and when people were being given relief, we were able to create over 3,000 jobs in the Eastern Cape, over 1,000 jobs in Mpumalanga, some more 1,000 jobs in the Northwest Province. We are proud of this because the beneficiaries of these innovations are there. They are living beings. Those that sought to cast doubt about our ability to innovate, we must say to many other young people out there who are peace-loving, who are Democrats themselves, that they must not be stopped. If it means coming to courts to defend that which we did to benefit the people of South Africa, and if it means that will make us look corrupt in the eyes of others, we are ready to pay that solemn price. Because we are hardworking. Everything else that we have ever earned in this country came out of our hard work. If you asked the investigating officer if they knew who innovated the kariki that they are trying to even figure out how it looks like in court, they would be surprised. That is actually amongst one of the accused persons. We are being told today that it constitutes a crime to give our wives monies earned legitimately in business dealings. So we'll hear how that becomes a crime. I was never part of any government department where I will have signed off an appointment to myself or anything like that. When I went to Parliament, I did what is expected of us. I resigned my directorship from Enviro Mabe at the time. I did not dissociate with Enviro Mabe. I just resigned as a director because I'm expected to do so when I take up public office. So sometimes in 2019, some chaps from the SIU tried their luck, went into one of the suppliers we're working with to help with the building of our karikis, trying to chase. You see, if you have got a case against a person, don't behave like a fisherman. Don't carry a rod trying to check where you'll find the biggest fish. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. If you believe that an individual has got a case to answer, do so. You don't go out of your way to create cases where they don't exist. It is not our job to talk about the merits or demerits of the case. Well, the Honorable Magistrate has already expressed herself on some of the things, including how the preparations of today would have gone through. We trust in the ability of the investigating team. We also have got confidence in the prosecutorial team that in doing their work, they will make sure that they apply themselves to the correct facts put before them. This which we are today being accused of, by the way, and by the way, I'm not even worried to associate with this innovation. It is my innovation. It is part of my academic studies at the UNISA School of Business Leadership. The very masters that was being read about here in this courtroom. In my thesis, in my research work, I wrote about this innovation. So there's nothing wrong. So maybe South Africans need to start knowing that being accused of crimes does not mean you are guilty. When you are accused, it means there's something you did which you have to explain. It doesn't mean that you are in the wrong. And what did we do? We innovated. This now gives us a platform to clarify how that innovation works. You have never heard ordinary South Africans complaining that they did not receive the motorized three-wheelers. Here in Eguruleni, in Tshwane, and many other parts of Gauteng, there are many way speakers who have received these motorized three-wheelers as part of enabling the informal waste economy. They've never complained. Today, we are being told here in court that some 103 or 101 Garikis are sitting in Suikerbos. An investigation has activated a white elephant. South Africans are going to be complaining that their government is not delivering. No, this government is delivering. But that which government delivers, when it is being investigated, anything you do in government, once it is being investigated, I can tell you now, government officials are even scared to start touching that thing. Now, you did that broadcast, more than 100 of them will not be fixable. The cost of fixing them will be higher than the cost of doing a new project because the project was under investigation. Who suffers? The guys you meet in Sandton pushing trolleys. That is the problem we're trying to resolve. How many of you feel for those guys? When you drive your cars every day, you pass by Sandton. We are trying to give these people mobility using the instruments of our own government. We are later on accused that, man, even this amount, doing rounds in an account of a black person is not possible. And then it starts jumping into family members. This one who's my wife, who's supposed to take care of her? When I spend sleepless nights working at home and being paid for my hard-earned labor, she becomes the rightful beneficiary, her and my kids. It's nothing wrong, because we'll not have stolen from anyone. But we're happy that this matter is now before an open court. An open court will allow us to ventilate on this. We're also happy that the ANC, through its renewal processes, has created mechanism for cadres who are once indicted to appear in a court of law must step aside. That time of stepping aside will allow me, my family, and those close to us, the space to attend to this. It will allow me the space to reflect on this and to also discuss more fully with the legal team. If we come to a determination that there were some in this investigation who were driven by ulterior motives, we will not wait. We are going to exercise our rights against those individuals. Because but what's on Chibatsebe or Asure we now legal tagorin lamlao. Ona leto kaya witirela kadi tokelo jabat baba. La bona mo South Africa. Re tsamari lo voter. Regardless of what position you thing, all of us vote once. Even police officers who are guarding voting stations, but vote at themselves. Tlheki knows nothing about the Garikis. She has never been involved. She was seeing some of these people for the first time here. We are not going to talk about the merits and demerits of the case because there are issues of law as well which will have to be ventilated upon. We are being told that this case was opened in 2020. Now we want to know, who's the original complainant of this case? We also want to know, through disclosure, that when they first complained about this case, what were they complaining about? Were they complaining about me being a member of parliament because I would have resigned at that time? Were they complaining that the motorized three-wheelers were not delivered? Were they complaining that there were no beneficiaries? Were they complaining that there was no process? I had something strange today in court. That when Pule Mabe, which we had allowed or left Tenyego to be the director of when we went to do other public duties, did not have the experience to do the work. How can a company that had already concluded a five-year arrangement of the same project out in the Free State not have experience to do the work? But how can a company that housed the innovator of that which they were implementing not have that experience? Then you read some names of companies to us. Because the first thing that you must, that's the reason why they were saying from the side of the prosecution, they were saying that it's difficult to get some of the parts. It's because you are charging the people who are the only ones in South Africa, by the way, who are supposed to assist you fix that problem. Now, we can't stop South Africans from innovating and from using their innovations to generate employment and to create a strong supply chain that resolves the socio-economic challenges of our people. This is our country. If the new democratic order means we'll have to come to courts to defend our ideas as black people, we're going to do that. We will do it even under our own government. We will convince our government that these innovations done by ourselves, born and bred here in the country, are also helpful. If there are accounting or governance issues that you pick up in that process, work with us to make sure that the public service, the legislations, the laws we have in the Republic can allow for this kind of things to also be implemented. Well, we're going to be coming to court. We'll participate throughout all of the processes that they have outlined. We'll also hand over our passports if we need to do so. We'll assist the courts to understand how this innovation worked. If they come to a determination that for whatever reason we were wrong, we'll subject ourselves to whatever determination that they make. But this does not change the fact that we are peace-loving South Africans who are patriots, who also want to make a difference in the lives of others. We're very much inspired by the words of Mahatma Gandhi, who professes that we must do right by living through others. So these innovations was part of us living through others. Maybe there were certain errors. If those errors happened to a point that they even attracted the attention of law enforcement agencies, we are willing to subject ourselves to that process. And we're also willing to pay the ultimate price. If that price comes with a suspense of our freedom, we shall subject ourselves to that. We're not going to go out and scream, shout against law enforcement agencies, no. We'll listen to their case. We will determine what becomes our legal strategy going forward. So I just felt, Amos, we must just clarify